Hello, I'm Paul Callan and welcome to this week's MotorZen news.
You could try to play it, but you're never gonna beat me.
To fans of Altezza, Toyota and Yamaha are joining forces to build a 5-litre V8. It's going to be a traditional combustion engine, but it's going to run on hydrogen. Toyota being the first to bring any type of electric vehicle to the market when they brought the Prius to the market in the late 90s. They've kind of resisted EV for a long time. They've been really pushing hydrogen, and we even spoke about it last week, the number of hydrogen service stations that are in Japan. They're working with the Lexus RCF engine, a current engine that exists. They're going to have to modify injectors, head, intake manifold. They're saying it's going to produce 450 brake horsepower at 6,800 RPM and 540 Newton meters at 3,600. The president of Yamaha has made a statement that says hydrogen engines house the potential to be carbon neutral while keeping our passion for the internal combustion engine alive. So there you go. Toyota and Yamaha clearly are working towards keeping internal combustions out there and being part of our future. So every day we look at these stories and we think, what is it? Is it all electric or what's it going? It's not clear. There's lots of activity out there and there's lots of big companies pushing in different directions, and these are two of the biggest when you see Yamaha and Toyota pushing the hydrogen agenda in the way they are. Renault ZOE have a recall on their batteries for a fire risk. No customers have had any issues. They're preempting issues. They think the problem's on the extra long range battery. Interesting enough, the battery is manufactured by LG Chem, and that's the same battery that was in the Chevy Bolt and the same battery that was in the Hyundai Kona. Both of those had problems and both of those had recalls. Staying with Renault, new Renault dealership in Navan, Newgate have just taken on Renault. One of the oldest dealers I'd say that was still existing in Ireland would have been Joe Norris. I think Joe Norris goes back to the days of Renault 12 in Navan. So Norris is, I think, now a Peugeot, and Newgate are going to take on Renault. Chrysler is a battery manufacturer. They make the batteries for the WRC cars and they make the batteries for the World Rallycross cars. They've just been bought out by John Deere, or John Deere has taken a majority stakeholding in the company, and John Deere have said that going forward now with this technology that they're going to have things like turf equipment, compact tractors, compact construction and certain road building equipment are all going to be running on electric. So again, you can see the mixture here that John Deere are buying a battery company in order to have the battery technology to put some of their product range on EV. In Northern Ireland, there's just been a survey done of 1,224 people being asked if they want the MOT to come back to 4 years and then 2 years, whereas now it's 4 years and 1 year. So tested at 4 years and then every year after that is the current system. The question was, do they want it to come back to like the south where it's 4 years and every 2 years? And 85% of respondents said they wanted to go to 4 years and then every 2 years. So most of the trade organisations have come out and are concerned about the safety issues with this, and obviously a lot of workshop business could be lost as a result of this for garages in Northern Ireland. It's a sign of how fast things are changing and how manufacturers are adapting and reacting to the changes. Ferrari have published a patent in the United States for a chassis design, maintaining chassis rigidity but also having space for batteries. The pieces would lock together to form an integrated structure, allowing the vehicle to be EV or hybrid. Interestingly, the design allows for room for the engine, but Ferrari have said that they will launch an EV vehicle by 2025. And it's interesting because only a year or two Ferrari were almost adamant that they were never going to build a Ferrari in electric. So it goes to show the pace of change. Staying in America, Subaru and Kia have, in the state of Massachusetts, have disabled proprietary telematics. And this is the system that sends vehicle data to the manufacturer stroke to the dealership. The law states in Massachusetts that if you have proprietary telematics, it must be available to anybody who wants it. So rather than comply with the law, Subaru and Kia have simply switched off the system and say, well, we're not taking data off the vehicle, so therefore we don't have to supply data to independent workshops, because that's what this is about. This is saying the Massachusetts state says you must give this to other workshops, independent workshops, and the manufacturer in this case is saying, right, we're not going to take it and we're not giving it to anybody else. So again, that's an example of the block exemption and all these regulations that have to be addressed here in Europe in regard to a block exemption, and whether or not we're going to get access to this dealer as independent workshops going forward is all wrapped up in that block exemption ruling. Staying with that as well, Independent Garage Association in the UK are launching a system called GarageSafe, and GarageSafe is a system that allows certified independent garages that are members of the Independent Garage Association to access security data and key coding data for all brands. It's a one-stop shop system that allows you to get, once you're security cleared, you can get access to all brands for security and key coding. So therefore you're not trying to register with individual brands, which is very difficult and very laborious. So it's going to be interesting. They're launching that in the summer, and it's going to be interesting to watch that to see how that works and how it rolls out. Volvo are in their plant in Sweden are launching a new manufacturing system. It's a system that was pioneered by Tesla, and it's called mega casting of aluminium. So now you're going to get situations where you have floor structures or turrets that are completely manufactured from one piece of aluminium, a casting effectively. The idea being it's going to reduce weight and also reduce complexity in the manufacture. So it's going to be more fuel efficient because the vehicle is lighter, more energy efficient because the vehicle is lighter, and it's also going to require less work in the manufacturing process, because if you look, for example, at a turret or a floor section, all those individual metal pressings that all have to come together and be welded together to make that section, now they're going to simply be a casting. But what's going to happen to these vehicles in the event of an accident? That's what's really going to be interesting, because there's going to be huge big sections of the car damaged now. Does it make the car more easier to write it off, or how that's going to work is going to be another interesting space to watch. Right, that was this week's show, and if you could, please like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Bye.